Okay, in this segment we're going to cover installing the interior door trim and casing assembly. We've made no changes on the interior, so we're going to reuse the old trim that came out from the old window assembly. On the outside we had to make a lot of changes because of the siding and the fact we're adding a brick molding. But in here we should be able to go right back with the same parts. The only thing we needed to change was the thickness of the casing, and that's already been adjusted. Prior to installing the door casing, we have to put in this piece of Pergo trim, and that'll go between the Pergo and up against the door. It's kind of a door trim or threshold, or I don't know exactly what they might call the little piece. It's to finish off up to the door. And how that fastens is you screw down this metal track and then this snaps into it and locks in place. And because it's going to determine where our casing lies, for spacing we need to install it first, measure from here, and then we'll mark our reveal line all the way around the door casing so we know how to set the casing in straight. But to know where to locate that, we need to put that piece in first. Okay, so my goal is to mount this flush tight up against the door, and in order to do that I need to determine where this track is going to lie so I get the best positioning. So I'm going to install it, put a little pencil mark there. Now I can flip it back over, and I know that from the back side of that is 3/4 of an inch to the first line of that groove on the track itself. And I come back, find my pencil mark, measure 3/4 of an inch in from there, and that will give me the location of where to place the track. And I mark it there. Now I'm going to mark it in a couple places along the way just so make sure that the track is installed straight and correct. It's a pretty straight track. It hasn't been bent. You'd probably be safe marking it at each end, but just so I can monitor along the way, I'll put a couple in the middle. Now I got the location. All you do is drop the track in and set it right on that line and begin screwing down. And if you notice this piece here, I'll move this for a second. When I finally mount that, I'm going to want to center it. And so I got equal spacing on each end of the door, and that's going to determine the bottom starting point that's giving my reveal for the doors. That's why I have to install this first, so all the rest of the casing matches, everything comes together, and I don't have any gaps at the end. So I'll just go ahead and finish screwing that track down. The reason I pointed that out is I wanted you to make sure you centered the track before you start screwing it down, because you don't want it hanging out on one end. Okay, I screwed that track down, and then I just lay the piece of trim right over top of it and push down evenly, and it just snaps right in. And then it's locked in place. And it's the design of the Pergo itself. It's got a lip on it that allows it to snap into it and hold itself in place. Now that I've got that done, I know where my reveals are. So watch our next segment, and we'll do the layout for the door casing and install the door casing.